record on this computer.
All right.
All right, you guys, we can see
I'm
you.
dying.
We're recording. Let me first get that glove back on. I just took off to hit record. Pop is a little more comfortable with this being so close to Beehive than I am. So,
Hey, Anna. Sorry, can you guys
Yeah.
all throw yourself on mute so that you don't pop up in the center of the screen during the presentation? That would be awesome. So look at your computer and make sure that you're on mute so that we make sure that we can watch the Beehive action. Thanks, guys.
It's gonna be so fun. Thanks, Kimberly. Hey, everybody. So my name is Anna, and I work with probably one of your parents. And I'm so glad everybody's here today to be able to learn a little bit about bees, because this is my dad. His name is Skip, but he goes by Pop. So Pop, P-O-P. So say hi, Pop. Hi, Pop.
Hi, everybody.
So Pop is going to give us a chance today to learn a little bit about bees, because most of us have like dogs or cats, but Pop has a different kind of a pet. Which is pretty cool. We're actually on top of our roof right now. We had to climb a ladder to get up here. And if you look over our shoulder, this is a beehive. So it looks like just put in boxes. But Pop's going to tell us a little bit about bees first. Then we're going to open it and look at the bees and see the honeycombs and see the honey. And we're going to try to find the queen. So Pop said he'd answer a few questions that I thought were interesting. And then we'll also, you guys can ask other questions if you have them. So Pop, will you answer some questions for us?
Sure.
Excellent. So why are honeybees so important, Pop?
Well, let me tell you a few things about honeybees to begin with. Number one, they're not native to the United States. They're not here by themselves. They were brought over by the pioneers, by the explorers, and the pilgrims. And let's see, they live normally in a tree hollow someplace. They would live in a branch that's died off and there's a hollow tree. They would live in there. But we try to move them into a hive like this, which gives them a better space to work with and a better place for us to work with them. They all make honey, of course. Has everybody had some honey before? Have you all eaten honey before?
Have you eaten honey? Raise your hand if you've eaten honey.
I love honey. Okay. It's the only thing that any insect makes that man will eat. It's the only thing that any insect will make that man will eat. There are three types of bees. There's the queen bee, which she'll live for anywhere up to 5 years or so.
5 years. The queen
right.
lives for 5 years.
That's right. And she's the mother of the colony. All of the bees in the colony are her children.
Oh.
All of them. Then there are worker bees, and they're the most of them. They are doing all the work. They're all girls. Every one of them's a girl.
All the worker bees are girls.
All the worker girls will be.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what the boy bees do? They're called drones. Guess what they do?
What do the boy bees do, Pop?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Except help the queen make new babies.
That's it.
That's it. That's it. So the queen is the mother of all the bees in the colony. And she can lay in the summertime up to about 2,500 eggs in one day.
One day. That's a lot of baby bees.
And they need that because a worker bee goes out and collects honey, brings it back to the hive, and they will live in the summertime no more than about 6 weeks.
Wow.
So they have to have a lot of bees to replace, a lot of eggs to replace the bees that are there.
Wow.
Now, this colony behind us probably has about 40,000 bees in it.
Wow. 40,000 bees live in this spot.
And
Can you see these?
Depending upon the size of the hive, it can be between 20,000 and 60,000 bees in one hive. They communicate with each other. I'm sitting on my feet here. They communicate with each other by smell, pheromones. But they smell each other and they can identify each other by smell. Also, they communicate by dancing. Can you believe that? Dancing.
Wait, bees communicate with each other by dancing.
They do. They tell each other where the honey is, where the flowers are, by dancing. They call it the wiggle dance.
Waggle dance?
Waggle dance.
Can everyone do a waggle dance?
Yeah.
Can you do a waggle dance, a bee waggle dance?
Yeah.
Woo!
She texted me.
Excellent.
Okay. The workers bring back pollen from flowers. Everybody's seen flowers out there, pretty flowers. And the little yellow part in the flower, looks like powder, that's called pollen. And the bees go into the flowers and bring back pollen back to the hive and turn it into honey. And then we take some of their honey. You leave a lot for them. They make the honey so that they can survive through the winter when there are no flowers. But they make so much that we're able to take some from them. Not all of it. We have to leave honey for them for the winter. But they take some honey. We take some honey. And sure,
Like all the little
a little bit of honey.
Here's some honey. Have you guys seen honey in a jar like this before? It's real sticky and it's really sweet.
Yeah.
And then for the adults, sometimes we turn some of this. Papa also makes mead.
Wow.
It's wine that's made out of honey.
Boy, is it good.
Honey wine.
Okay, if it's okay with you, I'm going to go ahead and fire up the smoker.
Okay. So Papa, here's what's going to happen now. We have to put on our protective gear.
And I'm going to fire up the smoker. We use a smoker to
Do you
take
want
a
her?
little bit of smoke
That's
down,
easy to do.
which makes the bee I'm going to fire up the smoker. I'll be right back.
And
I
then
think it's cute.
you'll ask more
Wanna
questions
look
at the
at that
end,
one more
if that's
time?
okay, for anybody who wants
Oh,
to stay
snap.
and
They're
learn
getting
even
in
more.
their suits. Come look at this.
You like my outfit?
Hey guys,
have to
make
make
sure you're on mute,
sure that-
please. Thank you.
You have to make sure it's zipped up really good because bees, if you remember, those are all female bees and they're all protecting their babies. So if they sting you, it's because they're protecting their babies.
But the boy bees sting.
But the boy bees don't sting, just Pop just said. So the girl bees protect their babies and that's why they might sting you. So that's why we wear these suits. Look, I've got gloves on. I'm completely covered. Do you like my outfit or think it's fashionable? I didn't think so. Okay, so Papa is, what he's doing right now, I'm going to take the computer and show you. What he's doing right now is he's just lit a fire. So see the fire? That's in the smoker. And so when he closes that lid, it makes smoke. And the smoke, when you spray it, when you push the smoke onto the bees, it calms them down. And that's because they think there might be a fire in the tree. And so they suck up all the honey so that they're trying to save the honey, but that makes them real full and lazy. So they're less likely to fly out and sting us. So he closes that smoker. We're going to take it over here. Now tell me if we lose signal or anything so we can see. So here's the hive. I'm going to try to be a good videographer. So he's going to squirt that right inside there. You see the bees flying in and out? Can you see the bees? There's the smoke and the bees going in and out. That's their front door. So he's opening it up now. You want me to help you? Okay. Oh, so we opened it up there. You can actually hear the bees. Do you see them? Oh, he's getting the smoker. They're getting a little aggressive, so because we've just opened their front door without asking. We didn't even knock. Can you see him? So he's smoking them a little bit more, just to let them know that we're okay. We're not going to hurt them. To pry out one of those hives. See the honeycomb? Can you see?
This is all honey. That's all honey. It's all kept. These cells, the comb, is what they put the honey in. You can see the fresh honey right down in here. As soon as they fill up that comb, they'll seal it up. Look at the back side.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get a better angle here too for everybody.
That's a full frame.
So this is a full frame. So these are frames where they put all the bees make their honeycombs, and then they put their honey in there, and then they seal them over. So we keep, so then they've got basically 1, 2, 3, 4 floors of honey that these are basically like floors or stories on a house. I'm gonna put that one back in, and then we'll go down to the next one.
Yep, we're gonna go down.
So that's that floor. Can you carry the whole thing, or you want me to get this side? They're heavy because what they do is they put the honey in there, and that makes it really, really heavy. And then when we call it when we rob the bees, which is that we take some of their honey, leave them enough for the hive, but we take some of the honey so we can put it on our cereal or in our tea. Can you see that? Can you see it? Lots of bees, lots of honey, lots of hive, lots of the honeycomb. They're six-sided, those honeycombs, and the bees are flying everywhere. Can you see the bees flying around me? They're flying protected because we're in these outfits.
Now we're going down to the.
So we're going down one more level. Now this level, when we go down to it, this is where the queen lives. So the queen, see how there's a little, what do you call that? A separator? So the queen is bigger than the rest of the bees. So if you put a little net on like that, the queen can't get through. So the queen is always in this bottom box. So this is where we'll find babies, and we'll find the queen, and we'll find more honey for sure too. And the bees are flying all around us, which is pretty cool. So,
You stung yet, Anna?
I have not been stung. I've got my protective gear on. We're being very careful.
Okay, this has some pollen in it, but no.
See?
Yeah.
Put pollen in it, but they haven't made the pollen into honey yet.
See in there, the yellow part? That's pollen that hasn't been made into honey yet.
Lots of bees. There's 40,000 bees in this hive, just this one little hive here. Oh yeah, he's looking. Now he's looking for the queen, because the queen is a bee just like the rest of them, but a big bee. So we've got bees flying everywhere, if you can see them around my face here. Can you see all the bees? I would be really scared if I were sitting here right now without this outfit on, but I feel very safe in the right gear. But bees, like we said, they are really important for the environment, because Top just told us a minute ago, he told me before, that 1/3 of all of the food that we eat comes
Fruit and
vegetables comes from plants that are pollinated by honeybees.
Okay.
So
These are baby
baby
bees.
bees. Let's see, baby bees.
Now, these are cats.
They're caps.
Let me flip it around.
I don't think you'll be able to see them.
I don't think so.
You got a little baby larva in there, and then they put this. Is that meat? Is that a bread?
No, that's wax.
So then they put wax on it, and then the babies grow up in those little six-sided cells. And then when they're all ready and they've grown up, they're ready to come out, then they hatch, and then they become worker bees, like the other 40,000 worker bees that are buzzing around my face right now. Ooh, look at those, lots more. So we've got lots of action going on in this one. He's going through each one and looking for the queen to see if we can find the queen, because there's only one queen out of all these bees. Can you believe that?
That's a drone.
That's a drone.
Boy.
So there's some boys.
Two boys.
All the rest of these are girls flying around me, but we just saw a couple right there, a couple of boy bees.
Don't see the queen yet.
Not a queen yet. We're looking. We might not find the queen. Sometimes we don't see her.
She
But that's
hides
okay.
right
She hides. She's protecting herself, because we're sort of invaders. You know, we're probably scaring them a little bit, which is okay, because we're not going to hurt them. We've got more bees. Pop looking at the bees. And you can see we're in Florida. It's very warm here today. It's like 87 degrees here or so today. Here's my parents' backyard and their house. We're on top of the garage. Bees. Let's see. What else we know about bees, Pop? It's how many let me get this real quick.
1/12 of a teaspoon of honey.
What? Did you hear that? One bee in its whole life makes 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey. So if you eat a whole teaspoon of honey, that is 12 bees' lifetime of work. That's crazy. That's a lot of work. Yeah. Crazy, crazy. So that's one bee. Top, what about,
Honey takes about 90,000 miles of flying.
whoa. So
Time.
just to repeat what he said, to make 1 pound of honey, it takes about 90,000 miles for a bee to travel, which is 3 times around the world. So so bees are flying 3 times around the world to make 1 pound of honey. So that's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work to make that honey that we like so much. And then how many flowers does that mean would be, we would get the pollen out of how many flowers to make that pound of honey?
Shoot, I've forgotten that number.
2 million is the answer.
And a bee will visit between 50 and 200 flowers in one flight.
So when they fly, it takes, oh, I've got bees all over the computer. It's so funny. Does LinkedIn Tech have a problem with what I'm doing? I'm not sure, but I'm glad. How many bees are in one hive? Does everybody remember? 20,000 to 60,000.
They will fly up to about 5 or 6 miles, and they can fly at about 15 miles per hour.
So they can fly 15 miles per hour and can go 5 or 6 miles. So can anybody run 15 miles an hour? I can't. I don't think we could outrun a bee if we wanted to. Can you run 15 miles per hour? I don't know. Okay, now Miller, here's a question for you. You were asking this before. If you make a honeybee buzz sound like bzzz, can everybody do that? How fast are the bees' wings flapping to make that sound? Pop up, pop.
200 times per second.
In 1 second, the bee's wings flap 200 times per second. And that's the noise that you hear. And that's what the buzzing noise is. 200 times per second. Can you believe that? That's a lot. That is a whole lot.
No queen today. I'm afraid not.
Well, I dropped the phone. Not to injure any bees in the making of. Do you want to smoke anymore? Smoke them a little bit. They're just getting. See, when they start flapping around a lot, you just put a little smoke in the air and a little smoke on them, and they calm right down. It's really interesting. Well, that might be too much.
And then you have to take a shower.
That's true. That's true. So, we haven't found the queen yet, and we might not, and that's okay, because that means that the hive's protecting her and that she's hiding. So what we can do, though, is the next time that we find the queen, we can take a picture of it and send it to you. We've got some, so everybody can see what a queen looks like. But really, it's just the same as the other bees, except that she's really big. She's much bigger because she's got to lay eggs for the whole hive. She's the mama of the whole hive. It's really important. Have you guys ever tasted honey before? Do you like honey? Does it taste sour? No, honey tastes sweet, right? Has anybody ever been stung by a bee? You might. Yeah, and that happens. And the whole point is just that it's because the mamas are, the workers are protecting the babies and they're protecting their hives.
If they sting you, they will die. They
yeah.
The bee that stings you will not live.
Yeah, so they won't sting you unless they really need to. So, or they think they need to if they're really scared. So if you see a bee and, you might want to walk away from it, but don't run, because now you learn you cannot run it. But also, don't be scared. They'll be okay. You'll be okay, and it won't sting you unless it's really, really scary. but it's the bees to be able to get the food that we like to eat. So bees are important. So you should learn to love bees, and thanks to bees for all of their hard work to make the honey, because you just learned how much work it takes to make the honey, right?
Hey, Anna, there's some questions in the chat feature. Can you see?
Oh,
or
okay.
do you want me to read those to you?
Yes, would you? That would be amazing.
Okay, so the first one I'm seeing is, how are bees, wasps, and yellow jackets related?
Oh, do you know that? How are bees, wasps, and yellow jackets related?
They're all insects, but other than that, they're not related.
They're not.
Wow.
Wow, they're just different types of insects. Interesting.
Amazing. Where does the queen bee come from, or how is she picked?
I'm sorry?
Where's the queen bee come from, or how is she picked?
Okay, they don't pick it. When the hive needs a new queen, either because the old queen is too old, or has been injured, or has flown away, the hive itself will decide they need a new queen. And they will take an egg that the old queen has already laid within the last 3 days, and they will feed it royal jelly.
Royal jelly. Wow.
For its entire time, and while it's growing. Normal worker bees get royal jelly for a day or two, but the queen cell, when they take one and they decide to make it a queen, they make it a queen cell. They enlarge the cell and they feed it royal jelly the entire time, and then they come out and she's got a new queen. Sometimes they will make 3, 4, 5, 15 queens all at the same time. And of course, the hive can only have one.
You can only have one queen, queen bee.
So the first one that gets out goes around and fights all the rest of them, or eliminates them one way or another.
Yeah.
So that one hive,
only one.
First one that comes out becomes the queen of the hive.
Interesting.
And if the hive gets too crowded, they will make a new queen, and the old queen will take half of the hive and take off and leave.
Send it.
And
send half of them off. Make a new hive.
That's called swarming. And they will leave and go off and find someplace else to live. And the new queen will stay in the hive with half of the bees, and she'll start laying, and pretty soon she's back up to full strength again.
That's awesome. What other questions you guys got?
That is awesome. So the next one is, how long do bees live?
Worker bees in the summertime will live about 6 weeks, and that's it.
6 weeks.
In the
short.
wintertime, they will probably live all the way through winter because they aren't very active. But they work themselves to death. You know how these women are. They work themselves to death in the 6 weeks, and they're gone. That's why the queen has to lay those 2,500 eggs a day in the summertime. In the wintertime, she doesn't lay at all, or very few. Okay, and the drones last one season where if they get a new queen and she needs to mate, she'll create drones, boy bees, and as soon as they've mated, they die. They're done. Of course, they don't do anything else in the hive, so nobody misses them.
And the queen, how long she live?
Queen will last anywhere from 3 to 5 years, a little bit longer sometimes, but generally, after about 2 or 3 years, there'll be a new queen take over.
Interesting.
Amazing.
Worker bees are just 6 weeks, and that's it.
Huh.
Hey, Pop, have you ever been stung by a bee, or have you gotten one in your suit before?
Yes, and yes.
Yes, and yes.
My son-in-law, or Anna's brother-in-law, got stung on the lip, and
it hurt.
It hurt. It
stuck
stuck way out there. Boy, he was in trouble for a while.
They hurt, but it's just because they're protecting their
That's right.
family.
And if you're stung by a few bees, it's not going to kill you.
You'll be okay. It'll hurt, but you'll be okay.
That's right. It would take a lot of bee stings
to really hurt
you bad.
Yeah.
But they do hurt. Don't get me wrong. They hurt. But if you do get stung, put a little ammonia on it.
Ammonia. There you
go. Right.
Oh, good answer. Oh,
good
Pop,
tip.
what's the difference between a honeybee and a bumblebee?
Bumblebees are solitary. They live by themselves. They don't live in colonies. Bumblebees fly around doing the same. They pollinate. bees by themselves, not in big colonies. They don't produce honey. They just like the pollen, and that's it. They're different altogether.
Interesting.
Hey, Pop,
These
how
bees,
long,
these,
how long have
these
have you-
bees are Italian. That's the where they came from.
Awesome.
hey, Pop, how long have you kept bees for?
Well, honestly, back when I was in junior high school, the 4-H got me into bees a little bit. I did some bees then, and then when I was in college, I was bored one day, and I went out and a friend and I found some wild hives, and we did that for a while. And then my grandson, Anna's nephew, was going for his Eagle Scout rank, and he had to do a project. And his project was to work with a county, or actually a city park, that needed some beehives. They had some hives there that individuals were putting on their property, but they had none of their own. So he said, would you like to have some hives of your own? So the park said yes. So he and I got together and we set up some hives and got 5 hives going over there, and we worked with them for about a year. They sold the honey in their gift shop, and they were ecstatic about it.
So he's been doing bees his whole life.
That's amazing. So thank you so much for answering all the questions and doing this for us today, Anna and Pop. I have to say, if you read through the feed, it's a ton of appreciation, gratitude. This is amazing and by far the best part of our day. We so appreciate you guys taking the time. Thank you from everyone. This is amazing.
We're
to
so
see you.
glad to see everybody.
Thank
I hope
you.
you learned a little bit about bees. Hope
We
you
learned
have
a lot
fun-
about
fun
bees.
Tuesday.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye. Oh, they're just coming in.
Amazing.
Oh, there's some people on there.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you for helping us learn about bees.